This is the new T-Mix plug-and-play system for Bundaberg. It has been built as a plug-and-play for easy installation. So this is what you'll get, minus the gas bottle. That's just there for demonstration purposes. So once you get it, it goes under the bench, put it wherever you want it to stay. It has a 10 amp power point, which you can just plug straight in. At the moment, it will come turned off, so just leave it turned off until the setup's ready. I will mention directly above the on-off switch is a thermostat. Depending on your local ambient, hot, cold weather, etc., you may have to turn up or down. Also, depending on how much volume you're going through. The higher the thermostat, the more ice that'll be in the machine, which means the more capacity you'll get if you're doing large amounts of soft drink, which I mean a couple of 100 litres an hour. Otherwise, it's set at a nice, decent volume of ice. What you want is about an inch worth of ice over these copper coils from the outside. So you want from about here to the wall of ice all around the copper coils inside. So once you've got this placed, plugged in, next thing is fill it with water, just plain tap water. It gets filled just to the top of the copper coils. If you fill it too much, there is a overflow at the front. It will come out as it's just drained straight out. This can be run to a drain or a waste bucket if you wanted to, but you shouldn't have water coming out at a regular course. If water continues to run out on a regular basis, then there's an issue or a leak which needs to be addressed. But once you fill it up above the copper coils, you may get a little bit. Obviously, ice expands when it freezes, so then it might push a little bit more water out. But once it's all frozen down, it should be pretty tight with no extra water coming out. So once that's full of water, you can put the lid back on. That's all you need to do in there. So you got this place where it goes, plugged in, turned off, full of water. Next thing is you add a gas bottle. Standard bottle mounted gas regulator. It can go on either side of the machine. It's got a decent sized hose. Now it will come with the shut-off valves turned off. So what you can do is put it onto the gas bottle, just hand tighten it, no tools required, turn the gas bottle on. Then all these gauges should go up to where it is now. The one on the end is the bottle, shows you how much is in it. Green is pretty much a full bottle, don't expect it to come all the way around. This gauges can also be used for beer systems which use nitrogen, which you'll get a higher pressure on, but just use CO2. If you use anything with nitrogen and post-mix, it'll basically turn it flat instantly. So, straight CO2 bottle, how much gauges to show how much is in the bottle. The next gauge is the carbonator. Now, we've preset the gauges, but you need to check them. They move in transit, they can be readjusted, etc., etc. So, the carbonator one, 80 psi, it's written on there, or close to 80 psi. In fact, if you have a look at it right now, it's just below 80 psi. Let me grab a flathead screwdriver and we turn it clockwise. Back off the lock nut. We turn it clockwise, and as you can see, it increases up to the 80 psi mark. Then we just retighten the lock nut underneath it. So if you need to adjust, flathead screwdriver in the top, clockwise to increase, anti-clockwise to decrease. I've written the amounts on both gauges, that way you can double check them. Reason for that is we find a lot of people hold them here when they change gas bottles, and that is obviously the adjustment knob, so things can move over time. But that's pretty much it. With the gas gauges, get gas bottle, wind it on, make sure the gauges are set where they are. For the moment, we'll leave these off. We don't turn these on until we're ready for the whole system to be used. Next is, well, let's go water. We have a water filter on the side. It's already hooked up to the machine, it just needs to be hooked up to the water. It will come with this fitting here. This is a female fitting for a 1/2 inch water adapter. It's the standard one most places use for everything from taps to dishwashers. So that screws onto a 1/2 inch male thread. Once you do that, we have a rather large amount of tube. Simply push this tube, cut it square, push this tube into this end, push it in tight, run it over to wherever the machine is, measure that pipe to length and cut it to size, and just once again push it straight into the back of the machine. And that's all there is to install the water filter. Next is the syrups. Now, I'm not sure what you guys are doing with syrups. I'm assuming this is a test machine. You're Bundaberg, so obviously you're making your own stuff. So I'm assuming this is something to test. So the way we've set this up is it does 6 flavors. We're not sure if you're using just soda water or what. So at the moment, 6 pumps for 6 flavors. Now, if you're not using the flavors and you're just using it for soda water for testing, simply don't turn the syrup one on and the syrup pumps won't turn on. But if you're using all of them, fantastic. All you've got to do is put your syrup boxes on the end of the line and they will be ready to go. The way we've done it is each one of these are marked as per the gun. For example, G is ginger, goes to G there. Each one of these, C, L, T, Q, D, are all listed here, and whatever box you put on the corresponding number will come out of the corresponding place in the gun. So nice and easy. Now, if for some reason you only want to use a couple of flavors, that's easy enough too. What there is this is the gas line right here. It goes out and connects in a loop through every single pump. For example, if you don't want to use the C pump, find the pump with a C on it. There is a little lever here which simply pushes to the side. Once you do that, the gas line will come out of C, and now C pump won't work. You can use every other pump but C. It has a little button on the top which stops the gas from coming out unless it's actually pushed up into the pump. So if you're not using any pumps, we recommend you disconnect the gas from them. That way it's not wasting gas or trying to pump. The gun itself is pre-attached to the machine, and we did preliminary adjust the flavors, but they always stuff up and come out wrong. So we're giving you a Brixing kit, which is a syrup separator and a Brixing cup. So this will have to be done as a final step. After the syrups are added, after the machine's cooled down, all you do is replace this nozzle with this nozzle. That separates the soda water and the syrup. Soda water goes into the big cup, syrup goes in the small cup, and they get adjusted here at the sides. There is an entire video on this procedure. It is really simple. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver and this should be done every 6 months anyway, just to make sure the right syrup to soda ratio is coming out. But apart from that, that's it. That's all there is to the machine. Quick recap. Put the machine where it's going. Pop the lid off. Fill the machine with plain tap water to above the copper coils. Add the gas bottle. Simply screw it on by hand. And make sure all the gauges are where they're supposed to be. Attach the water fitting and run the hose to the back of the water filter. Plug in the 10 amp power point and attach whatever syrups you're going to use, if any. Once all that's done, turn the water tap on, turn the gas shut-off valves on, and turn the machine here on at the main power switch. Once that happens, this machine will take about 2 hours to get down to temperature, and you'll hear the syrup pumps going tisk, 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 tisk. That's pumping up the syrups from the box up to the gun. What you can do, give it a minute to settle down and quieten down. Then grab the gun and basically press down every single button until whatever flavour comes through. I'd recommend running through about 5 litres of soda water and about 5 litres of water just to balance the machine. Once that happens, unfortunately, you're going to have to walk away for a couple of hours. You can't do the Brixing until it's down to temperature. Temperature and pressure have a lot to do with each other, and to get it spot on, it needs to be cold. Once it's cold, you can do the bricks to make sure the syrup to soda ratio is correct. After that, it is ready to go. That's basically it. Oh, I should mention it comes with a gun holder. That is just a standard gun holder from Wunderbar, which can be mounted to the top of the machine. It can be mounted under a bench. It can be mounted wherever you like. The only other thing I will mention is the gun itself. It's pre-mounted to the machine, but those two screws can come out and it can be mounted to under the bottom of a bench. If you need it mounted further away, we don't recommend it. The closer to the machine the gun is, the better the product, simply because, let me pop it open. Inside that stainless steel canister there is where the soda water is made. At the moment it comes out of there, comes through there into the back of the gun. Then it comes all the way from the gun up to the handle. Now, as soon as it leaves that stainless steel tank, it stops chilling down. Now, we've done it in 6mm and left it closed. So you're going to get about 30 mils. If the machine hasn't been used for a long time, basically everything from the stainless steel cylinder to the end of the gun is just sitting in the line going warm. Warm post mix is flat post mix. So to stop that, to prevent that, we recommend you giving it a hit for 2-3 seconds of soda water dished down a drain before you use it, just to get the best quality product. This is with all post mix machines. If you're pouring a schooner glass full of drink, you're not going to notice it anyway. Simply the warm stuff's going to mix with the cold stuff and it's not going to be a problem. If you're taking a couple of mouthfuls, that's when it's going to be a problem and you're going to notice it's flat. Now, if you need to mount this further away, that's fairly easily done and we can help you out with it. But as I said, not recommended. The further away it's mounted from that stainless steel cylinder, the more product is going warm in the line. So, but if you do need it mounted further away, let us know. It is ridiculously easy. All you've basically got to do is cut these lines and add an extension piece into them. Now, we do recommend you doing that before adding the syrups. If you do it after adding the syrups, that's easy enough as well. All you've got to do is turn the water gas machine off, hold the gun button down till absolutely nothing else comes out, then unmount the gun. Then what we'd recommend doing is with a texter or a permanent marker or something to mark each line before you cut it to make sure you're matching the lines to where they're supposed to be. You don't want to mix up, connect the wrong thing to the wrong thing, and then all you do is cut the line. Then we put an extension piece in. We send you a piece of hose as long as you need it to be, with a fitting on each end which clamps into the current piece of hose, and we can extend it as far as you like if you need to. But as I said, we recommend you keep it as close to the machine or as it is as possible. Once again, we can extend the syrup box lines if you need them. Basically, this is set up so the syrup boxes sit right next to the machine. You'll probably need to cut some of these cable ties off just to get them where you want them to go. They're just cable tied shut at the moment for keeping it neat during transit. But that can go on the left side or the right side, whichever way you want it to go. We will give you a full step-by-step setup instructions, but we find customers understand it better if we can talk you through it. But that's about it, really.